One of the main items on the agenda, the approval of a major development permit for American Reproductive Centers so they can rebuild a brand new facility at the same site of last year's car bombing attack between North Palm Canyon and North Indian Canyon Drive. Right now, the IVF clinic operates out of Desert Regional Medical Center across the street from the old clinic. The proposed new office will be over 19,000 square feet and 2 stories tall, including a surgery center alongside the fertility clinic. The Department of Planning Services recommends the commission approve the project, though that decision still lays in the hands of the board.
In an Indio courtroom today, a prosecutor alleges a 22-year-old Rancho Mirage man died after consuming fentanyl a friend helped him obtain. However, the defense argues that it's not murder. 28-year-old Riley Jacob Hagar has now been charged with second-degree murder for the death of Travis O'Brien on New Year's Day in 2022. During opening statements earlier at the Larson Justice Center, the deputy district attorney told jurors O'Brien died of fentanyl intoxication after checking into a Motel 6 and never checking out. The defense attorney argued Hagar only helped arrange a pill transaction and warned O'Brien not to take the drugs. Hagar was arrested months later following an investigation by the Riverside County Sheriff's Overdose Deaths Investigations Unit. Prosecutors say fentanyl-related cases remain a major focus countywide.
Jury deliberations resumed today in the trial of a felon accused of gunning down an Indio man during what prosecutors described as a long-running dispute. 39-year-old Hilario Larry Muela Jr. faces charges including first-degree murder in the shooting death of 36-year-old Marco Ramirez Jr. Early on February 3rd, 2023, officials allege Muela shot Ramirez twice in the back outside of a home on Smyr Street and then fled, leaving Ramirez dead at the scene. Prosecutors say the victim and defendant were familiar with one another and not on good terms. The defense claims that Muela acted in self-defense, saying he feared for his safety during the confrontation. After closing arguments, jurors returned to the courthouse today, with further deliberations expected to continue this week.
Tonight, a local fraud seminar at the Palm Springs Police Station is looking to educate locals on scams they might encounter in person or online. Our Brett Rosen has details.
I'm here outside the Palm Springs Police Department where tonight they'll host a fraud prevention seminar, bringing in locals to know about the different scams that are happening around the area. Police officials telling me that no matter the scam, it can happen to any age group. The Palm Springs Police Department says in 2025 alone, they took 79 different fraud cases that resulted in an estimated loss of over $1.3 million. So to fight against the high volume of scams, they are holding a seminar to educate locals on what to look out for.
I just wish it would stop. You know, it's so annoying. I answer sometimes thinking it might be a friend or a customer of mine, but it's usually the fraud calls are about Medicare. And I'm not old enough to be on Medicare.
How easy is it for them to kind of fall into this and lose out on, a lot of their money and assets?
Well, it could be pretty easy because a lot of times the scam starts off with something that looks legitimate.
Captain Gustavo Ariza with the Palm Springs Police Department says during the seminar, they will go through every single fraud case they've come across. He says it's an older generation that usually gets targeted the most.
And when we get into the older generations, what you have is a lot of people that are trusting. In this day and age where there's AI technology, the sad part is that a lot of people can mimic other people's voices.
Captain Ariza also mentioned how during the seminar, they will be going through 3 golden rules when noticing if it's a scam. He says try and notice if the potential scammer is creating urgency. Be suspicious of any red flags, and always talk to someone else if you have a gut feeling something is wrong.
I'd be all for any kind of initiative to, help citizens live their days without such annoyances, and some of these prey on the elderly.
And it's not just the police department that'll be speaking at tonight's fraud prevention seminar. They'll be working with a third-party company called Get Cyber Aware, as well as a local bank to be able to talk about the different scams so that you are safe. Here in Palm Springs, I'm Brett Rosen, NBC Palm Springs.
All right, our thanks to Brett for that. Let's get a check on tonight's forecast. We have live pictures right now from our Agua Caliente casino camera high above right there in Rancho Mirage. We're going to send things over to Pablo Alcina. Pablo, you said higher temperatures are on the way, and boy, were they ever.
Well, we're still nowhere close to as hot as it's going to get. Currently just 84 degrees. We saw a high of 85, but in just 2 days, we're going to be in the 90s, mid 90s to even high 90s. Today was still gorgeous outside. 84 in Palm Springs, 81 in Thousand Palms, 71 in Banning. Dew points kind of high, 44, so it does feel a little bit heavier. And by 6 p.m., we'll be at 77. Midnight, we'll still be near 70 degrees. And our 3-day comfort air forecast, get ready. Wednesday, a high of 94, but on Friday, we're expecting a high of 96 in February. I'll talk more about that in a bit. Back over to Olivia and Mark.
All right, Pablo, thank you for that. All right, we're taking you live tonight from outside of the U.S. Capitol building tonight, where we are 1 hour away from the president's State of the Union address. The president is expected to discuss his accomplishments over the past year, both domestically and in foreign policy, although not all of his achievements have been popular, and some are considered highly divisive.
As President Donald Trump prepares to take the podium tonight for that State of the Union address, recent national polling shows a divided electorate on his job performance. Right here in the Coachella Valley, it's no different. Our Alondra Campos is live in studio with more ahead of tonight's address. Alondra?
That's right. We spoke to local residents and lawmakers on both sides of the aisle about their stance on the president's actions since his term began and what they hope to see for the next 3 years. Lawmakers, members of the president's cabinet, and guests from across the country are expected to fill the House chamber tonight as President Trump outlines his policy agenda and vision for the year ahead. Recent national polling, however, shows a divide among Americans' approval rate of President Donald Trump. According to recent numbers, 40% of Americans polled say they approve of the president's performance, while 59% say they disapprove. Those numbers come as the president prepares to address a joint session of Congress, with immigration and the economy expected to be among the key issues, both of which have seen a decline of net approval by more than 10%, according to recent polling. Here in the Coachella Valley, the public opinion falls on both sides of the aisle.
Do you think ICE has gotten a little out of hand? I do really think the Coachella Valley is built off of immigrants. When I work in the school districts, there is a higher minority rate, but when you think about it, they're what makes the Coachella Valley.
You got to support the president. You can't say you don't support the president. You know, you might not agree with everything, but you still got to, say, hey, you're a citizen.
I approve of quite a few of the things, but there's also some things, and I go back to the same thing. I think he ruins it himself with his arrogance and his narcissism and his ego. And it takes away from the good things that he's done.
Local lawmakers also shared their take ahead of the State of the Union address, including Congressman Dr. Raul Ruiz, who says he will focus on the following key issues.
Rising cost of living, primarily due to the Trump tariff tax on the American people. People about to and that have either lost their health insurance and Medicaid or experiencing dramatic increases in premiums because of the big ugly law and because their refusal to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credit. And then the third thing is the fear and terror that the Trump administration is doing by going after non-criminal immigrants.
This year, Ruiz will be accompanied by local medical consultant Frank Brabeck, who hopes to highlight the struggles he and his patients are currently facing when seeking affordable health care.
The patients suffer because they will tend to not seek care or early in whatever ailment they have. So then it becomes acute and then they show up in the ER. So it actually puts more pressure on the system overall.
Meanwhile, Congressman Ken Calvert expressed his support for President Trump in a statement saying, open quote, "I agree with President Trump that our union is strong. I look forward to working with President Donald Trump to build off this progress to grow our economy, increase opportunities for American families, and keep our country safe and secure," end quote. Some local residents echoed that support.
I think people need to give people opportunities to, because he still has like another 3 years. So, maybe people are jumping the gun a little bit too much.
While others tell us they won't watch at all.
I actually don't watch President Trump much at all because, from my perspective, the man lies every time he opens his mouth.
The State of the Union address will take place tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and you can watch it right here on NBC Palm Springs. We'll have more on the State of the Union tonight at 11, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Reporting live from studio, I'm Alondra Campos. Back to you.
Alondra, thank you. Coming up next on NBC Palm Springs, a local lawmaker is introducing a bill to eliminate California's gas tax. We have the details coming up right after the break.
Plus, Crypto Fits shares that while crypto money is digital money, keeping it secure poses another challenge. We'll be right back.
Committed to covering our community. You're watching NBC Palm Springs at 5.
Welcome back. A new bill at the state capitol could temporarily eliminate California's gas tax. AB 1745, introduced by local assembly member Jeff Gonzalez, would suspend the state's motor vehicle fuel tax for 1 year. That tax is currently charged per gallon on fuel that's removed from fineries brought into the state or sold in California. Under the proposal, any savings from the suspended tax must be passed directly on to drivers. Businesses that fail to lower prices accordingly could face penalties under California's unfair competition laws.
Californians pay among the highest gas prices in the nation. And while families are tightening their belts, Sacramento continues to ask them for more. For many communities in Assembly District 36, driving isn't optional. It's essential.
The measure requires a 2/3 vote and would take effect immediately if approved, with supporters saying it's aimed at quickly lowering gas prices for California drivers.
Earlier this afternoon, journalists of all kinds from around the valley joined together for the 2026 Coachella Valley Media Hall of Fame and Journalism Awards Luncheon. Hosted by the Coachella Valley Journalism Foundation, I should say. The ceremony honored several local inductees into their Hall of Fame from local stations and publications. NPR's Tanya Mosley delivered the keynote address, and two of NBC Palm Springs' own, Thalia Hayden and Antonio Marquez, were nominated for awards, and one of our producers, Holly Hinman, spoke. The event concluded with a talk from Tanya Mosley again about the importance of unmasking our interviewees to share a conversation as journalists and digging for the truth.
Cover key cryptocurrency-related terms. For the latest details, here's Crypto Fits.
The Crypto Fits Daily Update with Jimmy Fitz.
Download the free Crypto Fits app on Google Play and the Apple App Store. As we go down the crypto glossary, even though Bitcoin is digital money, it can't be created endlessly. and verifiable security is core to its value proposition. Foundational to the Bitcoin protocol are two concepts relating to scarcity. First, there is Bitcoin's limited supply. The protocol dictates that the total number of Bitcoins that can ever exist is capped at 21 million, and it's impossible for more Bitcoins to ever exist. This is contrary to fiat currencies, where more money can be printed at the discretion of the government or central bank, potentially leading to inflation. The second concept is referred to as the halving. Approximately every 4 years, the Bitcoin mining reward, also known as the block reward, is halved.
Happy Tuesday, I'm Pablo Alsina. Look at the Walter Clark Cam live shot. Look how gorgeous those clouds, beautiful sunset. If you have great sunset photos, make sure to send them in to us. I might use it in my newscast tonight at 11 o'clock at night. And for tomorrow, you can expect the 90s to return, between 92 and 96 degrees. We have some strong winds. There's this high pressure system keeping that heat inside, but by next week the temperatures should start going down, but we are going to heat up in the next couple of days. Today we were 10 degrees hotter than normal. We should be at 75 degrees, especially now being February, but we still had a high of 85, and tomorrow will be in the 90s, around 15 degrees hotter than we should be. Although we weren't the hottest in the Southwest, I thought we would be, but nope, Yuma has us beat just by 2 degrees, but tomorrow I think we will be numero uno as far as heat goes. High temperatures you saw today, 87 in Palm Desert, 85 in Palm Springs, so lots of mid-80s everywhere. Tomorrow you will be seeing 90s. You'll also get windy in parts. Whitewater tomorrow Wednesday between 30 and 39 mile-per-hour winds. Desert Hot Springs north of the I-10 and south of the I-10 also pretty windy between 20 and 29 miles an hour. The wind should die down some by the weekend. Low temperatures tonight, 66 in Palm Springs, 63 in Palm Desert, 62 in Thousand Palms, so it's not going to be that cold. Go outside, the stars are going to be shining. It's going to look gorgeous tonight and not that chilly. Look at midnight, we'll still be around 69 degrees in Palm Springs. And our 7-day comfort air forecast, look at this, especially Friday, high of 96 expected. Ooh, it's going to get toasty, but then by next week, we should be back down by Monday and Tuesday into those low 80s. I'm Pablo Alsina. Keep it here on NBC Palm Springs, and always keep smiling.
And now, NBC Palm Springs Sports with Caitlin Kelly, powered by Agua Caliente Casino.
Welcome back. The Desert Hot Springs girls basketball team started the season without a win, but now they're one game away from history.
We had to fight in the beginning to be able to have the teamwork and the consistency that the girls have now.
That fight started from day one. The Desert Hot Springs High School girls basketball team didn't just stumble out of the gate this season. They were thrown into the fire.
You know, when we went 0-8 in the preseason, did I see them get in their head? 100%. But I had to continue to tell my girls, trust me.
She wanted her team tested early, believing hard lessons in November could pay off in February. And they did.
We definitely took it as this preseason doesn't define us in our league. Once we started winning and everything, we were just we got this, we're not gonna stop.
When I'm on court with these two, it's sometimes I just know exactly what they're gonna do. I see the way that they move and I know what's coming next. And I feel like that's a big part of the chemistry that we needed and that we didn't have preseason and that we just developed over the season.
Despite an 0-8 start, the Lady Golden Eagles flipped the script, finishing the regular season 9-9. And all 9 wins, league games, catapulting them to the top of the standings and into the postseason with momentum. But ask anyone around this program, and they'll tell you the turnaround starts on the sideline.
Coach definitely plays a big role. Without her energy and without her excitement, we don't feel the same.
And with Alvarado's passion on the sideline, it fuels plays like this. Pushing the Lady Golden Eagles into a CIF Southern Section semifinals victory, a first in school history. And the first trip for a Desert girls basketball team to a CIF championship game in 40 years. With NBC Palm Springs, I'm Caitlin Kelly.
Tip-off for the CIF Southern Section Championship game is this Saturday at 10 a.m. at Azusa Pacific University. Go get 'em, girls. Until then, that'll do it for sports. I'm Caitlin Kelly.
All right, Caitlin, thank you for that. I'm turning to more local news tonight. The LGBTQ Community Center of the Desert has announced that one of its key philanthropists, John McDonald, has died. They report that McDonald died peacefully at his home Sunday at the age of 93. In 2015, McDonald and his husband, Rob Wright, gifted the center its 10,000 square foot building on Palm Canyon Drive in Palm Springs, expanding the ability to offer programming and services that meet the varied needs of this community. The McDonald Wright building now holds the center's administrative offices, 6 community rooms, a cyber center, and the Scott Hines Behavioral Health Clinic. The couple was recognized in 2024 with the center's Legacy Award in appreciation of their many contributions that have had a lasting impact on the desert's LGBTQ+ community. We'll be right back.
Before we go, we have some exciting news from Big Bear. Jackie and Shadow, the bald eagles, have laid the first egg of their new clutch. A few weeks ago, you may remember the first 2 eggs of the season were eaten by ravens, so we're hoping for the best this time around. She could lay another egg in about 3 days. It would take about 34 days to hatch, so we're wishing them all the best.
Ravens, if you're watching this, do not eat the eggs.
Stay away.
Stay away.
All right, State of the Union is next. We'll see you at 11.